Well, hello everyone, happy holidays. Yes, Christmas is just around the corner, and it seems like more vacuum manufacturers are doing everything but the kitchen sink. They have self-emptying, self-washing, they even have fancy laser systems to avoid those pesky obstacles, but you may have heard this saying, less is more. Alright, so let's go ahead and bring back the past. We got the Roborock S5 Max. Yes, do you guys remember this guy? This is probably the most popular vacuum I reviewed on this channel, and now we'll bring it back. Now, there's a couple great features about the S5 Max that made this a really strong competitor, and it's still one of the best robot vacuums in my personal opinion, if you don't necessarily need the self-washing, self-emptying, or that fancy optical recognition. Alright, so this S5 Max has electronic mopping, has a 280 milliliter water tank, also has 2000 pascals of suction, 108 minutes of runtime, 4 baht memory, so yes, you can take it to your friend's house, or take it to your basement or your upper level. The fact that it was the first model from Roborock to offer electronic mopping. So with the electronic mopping, has a couple unique features. For starters, you can control the water flow, also the vacuum level. So this is great. For example, the kitchen area, maybe you have hardwood floors like me. You don't necessarily need a lot of water for your hardwood floors. You can actually control that, minimize the water. But for maybe the bathroom area where you can have a lot of water, you can increase the water as well. Also, you can increase the vacuum suction up to 2000 pascals. You can see the mopping system right here, and it has the LiDAR navigation, so you do get that zigzag pattern. Now, when I reviewed this 2 years ago, this price was around $430. Now it's $50 cheaper, around $370. So it's definitely a better buy. But let's check this out and see if the S5 Max is right for you. The setup process is pretty straightforward. You can run the robot without having an app hooked up to it or using Wi-Fi. Now, keep in mind all the features, the software update has to be connected to an internet, either a Wi-Fi network or a hotspot you can use with your phone. Now, keep in mind that it only supports 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi networks, not the 5 GHz. Only a handful of models support this, but once you go through the setup process, it's pretty straightforward. So let me just show you the mapping process. When you get to the main home screen, you can see that the map is blank. Now, one thing I do is in the upper right hand corner, go into settings and just make sure the map beta saving mode is enabled. Not sure why Roborock disables this by default, but just double check that. Also, you can check some additional settings if you want the carpet boost. Okay, so once we're back on the main home screen, you can either do one of two things. You can press the clean button and the vacuum will go out and automatically create a map for you. Or I like to go into the map settings just to make sure that I have a new map. I click the little plus icon and go through that route. But I like the fact that Roborock changed a little bit the mapping process, so it's a little bit easier for the user. No longer does the robot create its own map, it just does it for you. This is very interesting. We have some tape right here, so you can tape it on a smooth surface. So what this is designed to do is once the robot goes back from its mopping job, it will just sit here and the water doesn't pool on your floors. But it is electronically controlled, so you can turn off the water flow altogether. Okay, so here's the mopping plate. Open this up for you guys. pretty nice mopping plate. It is washable, and like the other Roborocks, it's held on by Velcro strips right here, and it just slides right off. So once it's dirty, just throw it in your wash and dryer and let it air dry, and you should be good to go. And this mopping plate is just the plate itself. The tank is actually in the robot. Personally, I prefer the larger docking station just because you can wrap the cable around on the larger dock, but this is okay, and it does have some nice anti-slip feet. And yes, you can take it overseas. It does support the 120 to 240, so just get the correct prong adapter and you should be good to go. Alright, so here we go, the S5 Max. So let's go and look at the design here. So this is one of the first designs where it has a 2-button layout. I know the newer models have a 3-button layout, but I find it works well. The only thing that's missing is the spot function, but I think they added that in later software updates, so I'll double check that. So yes, you do have a leather dome system, which is clickable, so low-hanging furniture doesn't hit its head. And if we open up the top here, this is a very large dustbin. I believe it's around 480 milliliters, and it is washable. There's a filter right here, which, let's see, I think we can just take it off from here. So it's pretty easy to wash out the dustbin, or you can just vacuum out the dust. And then here's the large opening. So the opening is pretty large, so yes, you can take a crevice tool and just kind of vacuum out this dirt area. Alright, so let's go and take a look inside here. We do have the little Wi-Fi indicator right there, a little reset, take a little pin. Also, you have a little cleaning tool, very nice for cleaning off the hair, or just keeping your vacuum in tip-top shape. Okay, so over the years, Roborock has been pretty good about pushing software updates. And if you go to manage maps, you can edit the map, and also you can save the maps in this little area. Now, if you go to multi-level, which you have to select, you'll see a little plus icon, which allows you to select multiple levels. You can actually save up to 4 different maps, which is very handy. And no longer does the robot choose the map, you get to create your maps and save the maps whenever you like. So you can see in this example, I'm starting a map, and the robot vacuum will go out and create an entire map. It takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on how big your floor plan is. Unfortunately, the Roborock does not have a fast map option like on the Tech bots like the Z10 Pro or the W10. But overall, the mapping process is fairly quick, only takes a single cleaning run, and you don't necessarily have the robot go back to its docking station. You can actually end the job right here. So I'm going to demonstrate that for you guys. So I'm going to go and press the pause button, and the robot vacuum will go back to its docking station. If we look closely, you see this little red dot. That means that a new map has been found. You have the option to overwrite the map, or you can create a new map. So let's go ahead and just save that map. And you can see I didn't complete the map, but it allows you to save the map, which is very handy if you don't necessarily have the time to create an entire map. Now, you can use the remote control feature, drive the robot around, and it will allow you to create a map fairly quickly. As you can see, I have 2 maps now, so you can see the mapping process is pretty simple. Okay, so one of the most asked questions is how do I switch between the maps? Do I have to manually load it through the app each time, or can I just set the robot down and press the clean button? Well, thankfully, the robot vacuum is pretty smart and it will reposition itself. So for example, I have the main level loaded up, but you can see I put the robot down in the basement. All I have to do is press the clean button either on a smartphone or on a robot, and within a few seconds or so, it will reposition itself and know that it's on the basement level, not the upstairs level. Now, if you try this with a new map, let's say you take this to a mid-level and you don't have it mapped, it will actually create a new map. It will give you an option to save that additional map, up to 4 different maps. Alright, so with the docking station, it will remember its last known location. So once it's done cleaning that area, it will actually go back and recharge. But you can always update the charging dock, just move it to a new location within the same map. And the robot vacuum is pretty smart about updating its docking location. As you can see, there's the basement level and everything's good to go. No corruptions, no issues there. So again, Roborock did a really good job with the mapping process. It's very seamless. To empty out the dustbin is fairly straightforward. Now, it is washable and so is the filter. One thing to note, there's no flap, so just be careful when emptying out the dustbin. Okay, so let's go and give you my final thoughts on the S5 Max. Overall, Roborock did a really good job, and despite this being about a year and a half old, it's still one of the really good cleaners. I felt like you don't necessarily have to get the latest and greatest model to enjoy a good vacuum cleaner and mop. Now, keep in mind, the mopping system is really designed for light mopping tasks. It's not like the S7 where it has a vibrating system, which does a little bit better with agitating the dirt off the smooth flooring. But overall, the S5 Max offers all the core features you want in a Roborock vacuum. I found that the navigation is on par with the higher end models, so instead of spending $900, $800, you can spend about $350 and get a really good cleaner. And of course, if you want that light dusting, you do have that mopping option. Okay, I really appreciate you watching this video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. And I want to give you guys a huge shout out. You guys are the one that makes this channel possible for watching my videos and engaging. So happy holidays to you and your friends and family. And lastly, stick around because there's a couple new Roborock models coming out in January and February. I probably said too much already, but just stick around. Roborock is definitely coming out with some really cool products, and I'm pretty sure you'll be blown away. Alright, see you later. Be safe out there. Adios.